Thank you again, everyone, for joining us in this panel. So before we start, I think we will let the Director of Energy say something about Mozambique and investment in Mozambique.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to stand before you today on behalf of His Excellency, the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy for Mozambique, to open this important session dedicated to showcasing the energy opportunity of my country. I would like to extend our warm appreciation to the organizers for creating this space to discuss both the opportunity and the challenge of Mozambique's energy sector. Mozambique is endowed with vast and diversified energy potential. We hold world-class natural gas reserves in the Rovuma Basin, abundant renewable source of energy, solar, wind, and hydro, and a strategic geographical location that enable us to serve both domestic and regional market while advancing in industrialization of our economy. These resources position Mozambique a key player in Africa's collective journey towards energy security and a just, inclusive, and sustainable energy transition. Our demographic growth projected to rise from 34 million people today to 60 million by 2050 underscores the urgence of expanding access and diversifying our energy mix. Currently, we have 62% of our population has access to electricity, while 38% remained without it. Biomass still accounts for about 80% of household energy used, mainly for cooking. This challenge is not unique to Mozambique. Across Africa, 600 million people lack access to electricity, and 900 million lack clean cooking solutions. This reality demands accelerated action. Distinguished participants, over the past years, we have achieved important milestones. The Coral Sul FLNG projected an $8 billion investment operated by Eni has already placed Mozambique on the global LNG map exports, supplying energy to more than 20 countries in Asia and Europe. Upcoming projects, Mozambique LNG, Rovuma LNG, and Coral North, recently approved with an investment approximately $7.2 billion for the next 3 years, will expand our capacity from 3.4 to nearly 38 million tons of LNG annually, positioning Mozambique as a reliable supplier for clean energy for decades to come. Domestically, natural gas is also transformative. Since 2004, gas from Mpanda and Temane being exported to South Africa with a combined installed capacity of 452 megawatts between 2014 and 2018. The ongoing Temane thermal power plant will add another 450 megawatts in 2027, bringing total gas to power capacity close to 1 gigawatt. A vital step to strengthen our national generation capacity, supporting industrialization and consolidate Mozambique's role as energy exporter. In parallel, the recent start of LPG production in Inhassoro, together with the expansion of piped natural gas and the clean cooking initiative, makes an important milestone in reducing dependence on traditional biomass and imported fuel. Our government is also advancing bold reforms to improve the business environment. We have established a transparent legal and regulatory framework anchored in the petroleum law and the petroleum operation regulation, which ensures contractual stability, security of investment, and the mandatory state participation through ENH, Mozambique's energy company from hydrocarbons. Ongoing reforms are simplifying procedures, aligning fiscal and foreign exchange regime, and harmonize environmental requirements, making Mozambique increasingly competitive and attractive of more investment. Beyond hydrocarbons, Mozambique holds an estimated renewable potential of 23 terawatts. We are scaling up solar mini-grids, hydro plants, and rural electrification projects to achieve universal access by 2030. In the context of Southern Africa Development Community, where only 32% of rural areas are electrified, Mozambique is committed to being a part of a regional solution. The decision taken by SADC leaders in their recent summit prioritizing industrialization, agriculture, transformation, manufacturing, and energy transition strongly resort with our own national priority. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge of climate change and decarbonization are global, and Mozambique is determined to be part of the solution. Our national energy transition strategy positions natural gas as a bridge energy source while promoting renewable, clean transport and industrialization decarbonization. We are reducing emissions along the gas value chain and ensuring alignment with international climate commitment while safeguarding energy access and social development. This is a moment of both urgency and opportunity. Mozambique offers a unique investment position, world-class resources and stable regulatory framework, strong partnership with global operators, and a government commitment to inclusive growth. What we seek today, our partners willing to share this vision, investment not only in our project, but also in our people, or our skills and our sustainable future. Allow me, therefore, to invite you to invest in Mozambique, to join us in a transforming our abundant energy potential into sustainable growth, resilient infrastructure, and inclusive development. Together, we can make Mozambique a drive of energy security for Africa and a reliable partner for the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Matavena, for this insightful information. So now we will start our question segment. I will start with you, Florival. Mozambique holds over 150 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserve alongside major renewable ambition. In few words, how can the country balance LNG growth with its long-term energy transition strategy?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to humbly say thank you very much for the invitation, for being here. But more importantly, thank the Africa Energy Chamber and Mr. N.J. Ayuk for the commitment that he has demonstrated towards Mozambique and Africa. I really think it deserves a round of applause. Thank you. Having said that, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for Mozambique, but it's a good challenge to have.
Okay.
I have to say that we are right now, if you like horses like I do, that Mozambique is about to bolt. Is a bolting horse. And the question is the preparedness of Mozambican companies to participate in this industry, which is a complex industry. So yes, there are issues of the LNG that we have to deal with, our understanding, comprehension, our learning process. We have, of course, the challenges of energy transition. I don't know if we're still talking about net zero by when, but by the foreseeable future, I think. I will say that the only way to reconcile the two is to look at poverty reduction. To what extent our LNG will contribute to the growth and development of Mozambique and Mozambicans? And how can we reconcile that with objectives of climate change and energy transition? We really believe that natural gas is the energy for transition. Having said that again, it doesn't mean that Mozambique is not concerned about climate change. Actually, one of the countries that have suffered the impact of climate change. But we really believe that actually natural gas in Mozambique will contribute to minimizing and mitigating the challenges of poverty. So we're talking about energy poverty, for instance, where, like the director said, most of the people still use biogas to cook, which is a serious challenge and a dangerous one for that matter. So we're at the crossroads as a country. We have to reconcile the two, and it takes preparedness and learning. And that's why we're here, to come and learn on how to maximize the opportunities that we have in Mozambique, taking also into account the challenges of climate change.
Thank you so much, Florival, for this input. So my next question is for you, Julien. Given your global experience in LNG project, what role do you see your company playing in Mozambique's LNG expansion?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, for those who don't know, Technip Energies has been in the LNG business for more than 65 years. It's really an energy powerhouse with a pioneer spirit. Okay. So pioneer spirit means we have been always in a pioneer approach when it comes to developing technologies. And one of the main achievements in Mozambique is the Coral Source FLNG, which today is under production, has been delivered on time. It's really a big success story from all KPIs perspective, and that's as well first LNG in a kind that has been developed in Africa. So Technip Energies is it's a core business with more than 17,000 employees, where the focus is LNG. So we develop LNG, we do onshore plants, LNG onshore terminals, and of course, offshore assets. So that's where we focus on today in Mozambique. Of course, we'll be participating to support the future developments, which are ongoing. I'm thinking about, of course, Rovuma LNG, but others. And in such a case, we have been established in the country since 2018. We have an operating center with engineers which are 100% Mozambican today, which are delivering process, mechanical, electrical. So we believe at the end of the day, of course, the core business for us is to develop FLNG, but you need to transfer the know-how. You need to integrate people, and as Florival was mentioning, at the end of the day, those projects has to be done in Mozambique by Mozambicans. So we bring in Mozambique our expertise that we have acquired since the past 65 years to be sure that these capabilities is transferred locally to support the development of the future projects.
Oh, that's quite inspiring. Thank you so much, Julien. Simone, turning to your expertise. So what contribution are Italian companies taking towards sustainable development and local content in Mozambique's energy sector?
Well, first of all, thanks for the question, and thanks to NJ to invite me. And as a president of Italian Mozambique Chamber of Commerce, I'm very proud to attend this question because I'm proud to be born in Italy. I'm proud to be a Mozambican citizen, and I'm proud to represent the interest of the two countries. First of all, I want to show what's the main member and the main partner, and I'm very happy this year, as you say, the African Chamber Energy Week and the African Energy Chamber is partnering with the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mozambique. So just going back to the main project, because the issue is where Italians company are present. So I focus for sure that the Rovuma LNG, ENI is member, but is operated by ExxonMobil. Mozambique LNG is operated by Total, and for sure ENH, that is a national company, that is also some people present here, they are in all the blocks. And the Coral Floating LNG is operated by ENI. That is actually the project that is exporting the gas, as you mentioned. So I put in yellow the presence of the main Italian companies. So as you say, in the Total Energy project that actually is a standby, the main contractor is Saipem. This is a joint venture, Saipem-McDermott. Saipem is leading with 75%. So for us, it's very important because it means to have at least 2,000 subcontractors. And that's a lot of Italian subcontractors that usually they works in this sector, as Renko, Bonatti, Leonardo Group, that I represent, Faresin, so mechanical, Baker Hughes, that we still call Nuova Opinione because the core is in Italy. In any Coral Floating LNG also, we have technology, Italian technology, we have Italian services provider, so we have companies that are member of the Chamber of Commerce, that 80% of our members are in the energy sector. As well, Coral Nord. Coral Nord, we can say, is the new project, new baby. This, I think Julien knows very well. It's a carbon copy with some optimization. And in the future days, there will be the FID. And so but they already start in the construction. And even there, that's technology, Italian technology, and that's Italian company that are working in. And I'm proud to say that this will double the capacity, more than double the capacity of export LNG. But that's the other project that I mentioned, even the project that Carlos will talk about, that is a gas that is Mpanda Nkuwa. This is a big, huge project. I'm sure that some Italian company that will participate in that. It's very important for our point of view also the utilization and the monetization of the Don gas. Okay. So as for law, Mozambique, 20%, up to 20% in each project of the gas you have to use as Don gas. Okay. And that's a pipeline of the project. For me, the most interesting one is the project for methanol, urea, fertilizer, but that's several projects also, LNG, floating LNG to power or LNG to power, that is key for a country that needs the electricity, but also can be a real hub of Southern Africa. So we know that South Africa has a problem of electricity, but also a problem of fertilizer. So all the country, they can benefit of the utilization and the monetization of the Don gas. That's why it's very important for us to be focused also in the second step. How can we use this 25% that is for law for the country and for the region? Just to focus in the big two investment and the big two company that we can say run the Italian interest, Eni, they will invest in the second project, as we say. What is important to us that in the local content plan we already confirmed that they will spend $3 billion in the life of the project for local content. So it's mean with Mozambican majority shareholder company. So this is very important for us. And in Saipem, that is for sure the APC of Total, but also they have the maintenance contract for 9 years of the Coral South and drilling and other activities, so we can consider the two giants of Italian presence in Mozambique as these the two companies. For the local content, I don't know if I will have the chance to talk after, I think. Okay?
Sure.
Or do you want that?
Let's hope so.
It depends from you. Do you want that I talk about the local content now? Or you will do another round?
Yeah, let's do another round.
Let's
if
another
you
round,
allow.
no problem.
So I appreciate your detailed
Yeah,
insights,
we will be
Simone.
back. No problem.
And now, Dr. Yum, coming to you now. How does the Mpanda Kwawu project complement LNG and help Mozambique position itself as an energy exporter?
Thanks for inviting and thanks for the question. I think, export is a big part of the DNA of the energy sector. Mozambique has been always exporting molecules and electrons more than its own consumption. A lot of the energy export have developed regional integration and regional infrastructure. That's why Mozambique is very well connected to the region, more than what is connected internally. But of course, as we move forward with the footprint of the LNG export, which has a domestic allocation portion, I think it's important to, on the next stage, we need to start developing the industrialization, which goes together with internal infrastructures and backbone. Having said this, the next page of Mozambique, the next 10 years, we'll have around 3,500 megawatts of hydropower under its own control. 2,075 megawatt coming from Carabasa and 1,500 megawatt, which is the Mpanda project, which I'm here as developing that project. So that gives a sort of a new vision in terms of how we should address investments to promote industrialization, either through both from gas to power and also hydro portfolio base. Having said this, we need to look at what are the type of industries which Mozambique are comparative in advantage, and if we manage to structure well, definitely they will be not only be like extractive, but also transformative, and also manufacturing value chain into the process. So on that, of course, we have, the LNG exports and energy-based hydro. They don't fight in the market. They play one in a global stage, one in a regional stage. However, they bring a lot of common issues which are needed in Mozambique, like significant export revenues, fiscal revenues, employment, local contents matter, because those type of projects at investment level brings a lot of local expenditures. But the size of the local expenditures in terms of how much you can contribute or be proactive also is determined by the number of, I think somebody says here about to train, to certify, and on this area we already employing, contracting, selecting 40 young women in the local area all the way up to provincial level, because of the number of activities that this type of projects like Mpanda Nkuwa brings during development, but also during preparation for the construction phase. Because if those projects does not have a strong, active and not passive role from the local community or the national population, this project will always have difficulties to be accepted, as it was mentioned by the colleague here. So that is part of how we see that in certain areas where they will complement in different size. When it goes to market, they will play different markets, but they all contribute to the transformation of economy through the industrialization of Mozambique. So that's where we believe that being blessed by diverse natural energy resources in Mozambique, we should make sure that both the policy and the strategy make them complement instead of fighting, but also make the right sequence of investments through the national planning of the infrastructure so that we maximize the public resources into the economy.
Well, thank you, Doctor. This is clear. Now, Sana, based on your experience, could you tell us how are companies preparing to meet the growing demand of oil field and energy services in Mozambique?
Yeah, thank you very much. I did want to take a moment to also thank those in the audience, particularly those that are still awake. And just to say that I saw quite a few of you on the dance floor last night. I'm impressed and amazed that some of you made it today. So please, a round of applause for yourselves. Well done. Well done. I hope to see the same or better tonight. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we've done so far. I mean, we invested quite heavily in Mozambique quite some years ago, like a lot of companies. Didn't necessarily see the activity that we were hoping for, again, like a lot of companies. Of course, we're all very much excited now to get going again. In our case, we kind of remained committed. We kept our footprint in country. We tried where we could to redeploy our people, for example, that we'd hired in Mozambique to other countries to keep the experience building. And in our case, what we did was that we invested in our facilities and our infrastructure in such a way that we can continue to expand across all of our product lines from a Halliburton perspective. I wanted to touch briefly on kind of 4 key pillars and 1 secret ingredient. So the 4 key pillars, it's not something unique to ourselves. In fact, I'm sure if you go on ChatGPT, it'll give you the same answer. So first of all, in terms of people, hiring people and developing and training them is the first. Vendor, and people talk a lot about utilizing local companies. One of the things that's a huge kind of workload for us as well is identifying and qualifying those local companies that we can work with, developing them, helping them understand our needs, how we work, how our customers work, their expectations. That in and of itself is a huge work scope. So identifying and working with those local companies, CSR or corporate social responsibility, finding opportunities to work with, for example, universities to establish programs for development there. And then the final point is around infrastructure, putting facilities in place. So those are the 4 key pillars, and I'm sure everybody would probably do the same. But the 1 secret ingredient, any guesses? You didn't think you'd have to work. What's the secret ingredient? Come on. Money? It's close. It's closely linked. The secret, human is also close. It's love. Coração? Is that right? So that's the secret ingredient. It's closely linked to money, but it's slightly different. So the secret ingredient is love. You know, again, I joke a little bit about ChatGPT, but if you ask ChatGPT, what should I do in Mozambique? it'll give you probably something very close to those 4 pillars, right? And you can follow those, you can have nice graphs and charts, but we have to remember that it's about people and it's about love. So you don't forget the secret ingredient when you go, because that's really what makes the difference to the country. And that's really what we want to make sure that we bring with us and encourage everybody to do the same. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sana. So I have another question for you, Florival, regarding local company participation. Where do you observe the most progress and what further steps need to be taken?
Well, I will have to start by talking about local content legislation because, I mean, there's a bit of a controversy, at least a perception of a controversy with regards to local content. From a Mozambican perspective, number one, local content is not and there will not be an obstacle for investors. That there's a consensus around that. So the objective of having a local content legislation is primarily to facilitate the inclusion of Mozambicans in the industry. Because the exclusion of Mozambicans from the oil and gas industry will be disastrous for the industry itself. So really we look at local content legislation as a facilitator for the participation of Mozambicans jointly with foreign companies. That's how we look at it in the chamber. And why am I saying this? Because one of the primary objectives of my chamber is to be a platform whereby foreign companies and Mozambican companies can meet and create joint ventures. Okay. That's exactly what we're looking for. So there's no such thing as exclusion of foreign companies. There's no exclusion of foreign investment in Mozambique. So the objective of having this legislation is simply to stop the exclusion of Mozambicans that has in the past impacted the country and the industry in particular. When we come back to Cape Town next year, at this time, I'm absolutely certain that we'll be talking about a different Mozambique. We have, right now, this week, the Coral North project, which is $8 billion. They'll be doing the FID. We hope and are almost certain that before the end of this year, we'll have Total lifting the force majeure, Total Energies, and going back to Mozambique with an investment of $20 billion. We are almost certain that before the end of next year, we'll have the FID from ExxonMobil, which is $27 billion. I mean, give me an example of any other country that has, in Africa, that has those volumes of investment. And what you cannot afford is to have those massive investments on one hand, and on the other hand, have the population dying of poverty and not having access to clean water, to energy, and to the basic foods. So we have a big challenge in Mozambique because we have these massive investments that will definitely attract the biggest companies worldwide. But what is the impact in the country in terms of development? So what we are doing is really to make sure that we provide training, we provide capacity building, and the Achilles heel of Mozambican small and medium companies is access to finance. It's not love, sorry. Not yet. We need the money to have the love. So it's access to finance. The structure, the financial structure of Mozambique was not built to facilitate access to finance for small and medium companies, on one hand. And on the other hand, small and medium companies are not prepared in terms of capacitating to be able to access the finance as it stands today. So once again, we need to find this intersection and allow those Mozambican small and medium companies to participate in the economy. And it's the only way, because if you look at it, what will contribute to the development of Mozambique as a country, as a whole, is the participation of small and medium companies that will create employment. So we need to do that in a phased and regular way that does not impact the investments but also allows Mozambicans to participate.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you next year with the new Mozambique paradigm. So now, as promised, coming back to you, Simone. So regarding growing Italian investment, how is the chamber shaping local content to maximize benefits for Mozambican businesses?
Well, talking of local content after Florival is something that happened to me in the last 10 years. Basically, they call us the couple of local content or something like that, because it's a debate, a very long debate. So there's no a local content law in Mozambique, but we count in the last years in the local content plan. So each project has a local content plan. And if we consider total project, for instance, that's obligation around 1.3 billion to invest in Mozambican majority shareholder companies. This is quite important. And also, as I mentioned, the Coral North at 3 billion. So I think we in this moment, we are focused, I was for the last 5 years also the chairman and the president of Natural Resource and Energy in the umbrella organization of the private sector. So we were very focused in the local content plan. So how the company can afford in this obligation that is for sure an help to the local companies. So what we think that the government want to approve maybe this year a local content law, and now there's under consultation with the private sector and with the majority, we can say, the most important association. So what we consider as opportunity of local content is to merge the international know-how and the technology and the access to finance with the local capacity. Okay. So if we consider local content as ideological approach, we are far off the business and is not sustainable for the projects. It's only an overcost. But if we consider the local capacity now in the next 5 years, and we joined with the international capacity, so we have the opportunity. Just to give an example, so in Mozambique, you can have 100% foreign company registered in Mozambique. You can have partially owned company, and you can have, for sure, majority 51 plus. For sure, you have some benefits already in the legislation, like 10% overprice and in the valuation, if you have majority shareholder Mozambican. And in the case of a local content, you will have more benefits. So what we suggest to be close to the Angolan model, the new model, rather than other kind of model. Because Angolan, what did they took the decision, which has the services and the good that you can do in Angola by Angolan company. Okay, this is, we have to fix something to prefer the local instead the international. And that's other technology. We don't think that in Mozambique we do valves in the next 20 years. So there's this technology, especially offshore technology, that is open market. So we suggest to go in this model rather than go to ideological model. And that's already some opportunity to merge Mozambican with international. So this is the activity that the Chamber of Commerce, joined with the CTA, we are doing. And I think in some sense we already prepare several companies to stay in this business. So that's at the moment, in the selection and in the tender phase, we saw that that's companies that are listed and already working that are purely Mozambican company. So this is, we can say, our approach, and we think this is a very pragmatic approach. And for sure, as Florival mentioned, there's a huge potential. When a huge potential, there's a huge market. So there's market for everybody.
Oh, thank you so much, Simone. So, okay, we still have a little bit of time. Maybe Julien, maybe that's the last question for you. So, building on your previous point, how can Mozambique make the most innovative engineering and technology shift in the LNG market?
Yes, thank you for the question, but I would like, I'm not going to be too long. I think that there is one trilemma which is very important to understand, is that project has to be affordable, available, and sustainable. And that's the energy equation on all type of projects, EPC projects that we are doing worldwide, and that's the same case in Mozambique. So at the point of local content, whatever regulation is, it has to be pro-business. If it's not pro-business, then after availability, affordability, and sustainability of the project, not on the EPC phase, but on the long-term model, which is on the next 30 years, can have a failure. So we need to work all together to have this business plan, I would say, clear, and to manage the expectation, of course, as you were mentioning, Florida. So on our, just because I'm conscious of time, so there is, for us, again, this energy trilemma is exactly what is applicable to Mozambique. If I take the example of the Coral Source FLNG, it's pure technology of vessel. It's Cryomax, and Cryomax technology, which is own technology, is allow the FLNG to reduce the OPEX on the next 30 years. So you maximize the volume, you maximize the value and the return for, of course, the operator and the country. So the balance of engineering, it's a key today in our challenges that we are having in the world, to say we want to reduce emission, but if we don't choose the right design, you will not reduce anything. So it's really to solve this equation of energy trilemma is to have first the right design. That's what we try to do at Lowe's very humbly, at least to be pioneer on that, and then to reduce the carbon emission. I will talk about as well Rovuma LNG. Rovuma LNG is typically it's e-drive trains, meaning that those trains can be electrified. And then, of course, if it's electrified, it's reduce the carbon footprint of the molecules that will go out from Mozambique, which means that from a pure regulation point of view, this molecule can be sold out for the next 30 years or 40 years to every country, because that's not today, but that will be coming in the coming years. So, voilà, technology, to reduce the carbon footprint, and I think engineering is clearly a key asset here.
Oh, that's inspiring. Thank you so much, Julien, for this insightful presentation. So I think now we reached the end of our panel. Unless someone have a quick, yes, Simone, please.
I want only to share that I beat with Sana, that he said to me that he expect to have more people in that side than in your side. So I won, because I say Mozambique is still very sexy, so we will have a lot of people. So thanks to you to come and attend the meeting. And also because I won, so now I think it's a dinner for me. Thanks, Anna, because thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Simone, for this. And so thank you sincerely to our panelists for the valuable insight, and for all of you for your attention. So it's clear that Mozambique offers unique investment opportunities, especially in energy and infrastructure sector. So the future of energy in Mozambique depends on the strengthening of partnerships and meaningful local integration. So I hope today's discussion has enhanced your understanding of the challenges and opportunities in Mozambique. And thank you once again. And I look forward to continuing this discussion maybe later on. Thank you so much.